Hi Prarthana, how are you doing on this fine morning?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. What are we going to be talking about today?
We are going to be talking about spirituality and God. It's a bold and touchy
Hey,
topic, but we believe in that here at Gyaan.
we do believe in staunch models at Chayan Gyaan. And would you like to? Okay, so we're not asking questions today. We're just gonna talk about our experience with it. So, would you like to start?
Yeah, I don't mind starting.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
So, I haven't had the chance of going into understanding the intricacies of other religions other than the one that I was born into. But it's very fascinating to me, and I would like to at some point. So I can speak of mine and my journey with it. So I've never actually been completely opposed to the concept of religion and God. I felt like there was something to it, but my understanding of it over the years definitely did improve. So yeah. But so first I wanted to understand where this concept of God even came about. And so I figured it was probably, and I read also that, man saw fire and he's like, okay, wow, this thing is giving me light, it's giving me warmth, and it's giving me a means to eat food that is cooked. And so he's like, wow, this thing is so great, it's greater than my existence. And so I am going to put it above me. And then maybe one day he went to work. Okay, his work is catching deer or like killing deer, and then he comes back to the fire and he's like, shit, dude, I had a hard day at work, I couldn't get the deer, and now the ladies have to eat berries. So can you help me from tomorrow with your greater beingness of fire? Which made sense, like, okay, fine. But as human beings evolved, as our needs evolved, we translated it from fire to maybe idols or whatever. But basically and fundamentally, I think human nature is to, human nature finds it human nature makes us believe that, believing in something that is greater than us gives us comfort, and it gives us, this direction and this sort of calmness, and that is what God and religion is. And different people find God and religion in different things. For some people might find it in temples, some people might find it in mosques, some people find it in work, or in doing their job, which is what my tattoo says. But yeah, but that made sense. Okay, that was a concept, but I was like, okay. Then I went into religious texts. So the crux of the Vedic philosophy is contained in the Upanishads. So the Upanishads have four Mahakavyas, or four sayings, which go by Prajnam Brahmasmi, Aham Atma Brahmasmi, Tattvam Asi, and Aham Brahmasmi itself, which roughly translate to I am Brahma, or I am the person, I am what I pray to, and I am everything around me. So, and it also says that, the universe itself is one existence, like it is just one thing, which made a lot of sense to me, but intellectually it's a great concept. You can just be like, oh, Aham Brahmasmi, but you see a dude in front of you and then he slaps you and then you're like, dude, I really don't see Brahma in you right now. So but the Vedic texts also say that, the moment that you forget Aham Brahmasmi is the reason that human beings are suffering so much. But also it does not propagate instantaneous realization, and which is very contradictory to the Zen philosophy, which speaks of instantaneous realization. The Vedic texts say, live your life the way that you need to in this mortal realm, and if you can at some point in your life come to this realization that everything is just one entity, then that's great. And so I understood that God and religion and everything in this mortal space or this time that we have on earth is something that we just cling on to, for our own comfort, for our own happiness, and for our own direction. And so that is my understanding of religion and God, and yeah.
That was fantastic. How can I do better than that? That was really nice.
You go. I'm very interested in knowing your and your understanding of what it is.
So, my understanding of God is not conventional in nature. I also believe in the concept of a universal God. Growing up, I was very agnostic for about 21 years of my life. And yeah, so for the most of my life, I did not believe in the existence of anything because I was more of a staunch believer in hard evidence and facts that I could actually rely on. Little later in my life, I started to realize that subjectively and objectively, humans have come up with theories like the Big Bang theory, evolution, theory of relativity, yes. And which is incredible and which is really nice and which is something I still do believe in. But I also do believe in things that human beings can't possibly comprehend. And I feel like our comprehension ends at a certain stage and we think that it is the end. And I'm still very young, so I still don't know the half of it. But my understanding now is that our consciousness and our consciousness is just not our consciousness. I think our body has a soul. And I feel like in this process of life and the whole process of birth, life, and death, I think it's beautiful to think that we are sent here for a certain purpose and we come here, even if the purpose is like the smallest thing, even if it's like feeding a dog or if it's just like meeting a person or whatever it is, even if it's that small. I feel I'd like to believe that you are coming on this mortal realm, like you mentioned, for a purpose, and you are transcending. And your transcendence could be basically anything. Even if you're not going to a magical fairyland, you'd probably be among the stars. So I certainly do believe that it baffles me that we are here on a rock in the middle of nowhere with so much around us, with food and plants and water and communication and emotions, art, culture, so many things. And the concept of God to me is nothing bounded by religion per se. Even though I do believe in the religion and the texts and the scriptures, I believe that enlightened people have come forward to write something and to provide. I believe that God is light and purity in every single human being that they can tap into and they can find within themselves. I believe that God is like the truest nature of that person, not bounded by malevolence or hatred or any bad inhibitions. Literally the person in his or her purest form. I believe that God is love and enlightenment and acceptance and willingness, and that is pretty much it. And I feel like I personally understood this by just like being by myself and meditating and trying to find answers. I realized that there's more to our meaning on this planet. I realized that there's more to life, and holding on to something much higher than you, holding on to something much more higher than what you can hold on to, and conforming in that helps you. And that's my whole idea of God.
It's simple and so beautiful. Really like that.
Thank you so much.
Really enjoyed this quick, good conversation.